You're listening to Euro Game Day live on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein, Jason Cundy, presented by Carly in the UK's #1 lager, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. Still to come on our show, we're discussing how England can get the best out of Phil Foden. Just quickly, Conor McGregor's injury is, and I quote, absolutely real. UFC President Dana White has insisted after he pulled out of his upcoming fight. More on that when we get it. Now, Scotland take on Switzerland in their second group game tomorrow night. It's live on talkSPORT from 8 p.m. Joining us now to preview the game is talkSPORT's brilliant Scotland Euros reporter, Shebahn Aherne, and she's live from the Scotland camp. Shebahn, how are you?
Hey, Shebahn.
Oh, hello, gang. Guten Tag to you. I hope you're having a good afternoon. Yes, so we were at open training earlier on today in Garmisch, part in Birken, where the weather was absolutely glorious. It was 28 degrees. It's the nicest day that we've had since arriving in Garmisch. Spirits were high in the camp. The lads were training behind us. They were smiling. They were enjoying the sunshine. And then we hopped on a flight to Cologne. We landed about an hour ago, and it's literally monsoon central. If you are watching on YouTube just now, you'll see the absolutely torrential rain behind me, which has led to a number of the fan parks all being closed today. So, you know, no party here, that's for sure. Not yet, anyway.
Well, Shebahn, it sounds like every time I hear you, it sounds like you're having a ball of a time out there as well, and I'm loving listening to you. But let's get down to what really matters. It was an incredibly disappointing performance, result, everything. It's one of those, because you don't have time really to dwell on that. You've got to move forward. Is it now a must-win game against Switzerland, do you think? Or is it one of those, we feel we can beat Hungary, must not lose? How do they go into this game?
I think they have to give it their everything to win the next two games. That's ambitious. Maybe going into the Germany game expecting anything was just totally delusional in the first place. But actually, Scotland got whooped. It was a really bad performance. They didn't do half of the things they've been able to do in the past, or half the performances we've seen in the past, especially when it came to qualifying. They were not nearly at the levels that they should have been against Germany. We've heard from a number of our pundits, including yourself on the station, and saying that, you know, they weren't aggressive enough, they didn't do the basics right, and they've talked about that. They've talked about it in their press conferences since. Steve Clarke said he has to make it clear that his message is received to his players, that they understand fully what he wants them to do on the pitch. But also, the occasion was absolutely massive, and perhaps that had a part to play. Perhaps there was an element of being overhyped, perhaps maybe too emotional going into that opening game against Germany. Whereas now they've had a minute to go, hold on a minute, we got the fright of our lives here, but it's still all to play for. They can still get 6 points. They can still come out of the group and make history, so they should focus on that.
Sorry, who can get all 6 points? It's Scotland, you say?
Oh, stinks. Come on, mate.
What? Oh, that rain's that's got through to you, isn't it? What type of rain is that that's coming down, Shebahn? Let me ask about...
Hopefully, if it would be... gin rain would be nice. Sorry.
Gin would be lovely. Ryan Porteous has been handed a 2-game ban after that red card in the first game. How big a blow is that going to be for Stevie Clarke?
It's not good. I think Grant Hanley, though, deserves a start tomorrow. When he came on, he did have an effect in that Germany game, a real calming presence at the back. So, yeah, Ryan Porteous is a big loss, and he's been brilliant for Steve Clarke. He has been for Scotland. And, yes, Adrian Durham on the game day actually pointed out how sometimes he can be a little bit off when it comes to his discipline, but he hasn't been sent off for years for Scotland until this. So a 2-game ban, which means if they get to the knockout stages, I expect that we would see him back in. I expect we would see him back into the starting lineup. Steve Clarke has a lot of trust in him. He said he's given him a cuddle. He's made sure he's okay. He went in for an honest challenge, and it ended up leaving one on Ilkay Gundogan, and it could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, he's okay too. So he'll take a lot from that. He'll learn from it. But from what you can see, that the squad are all sticking together. There's no blame in this squad. They're just looking at themselves. So hopefully that'll encourage something. Jason, you'll know better than any of us when you've had, an almost embarrassing loss like that, what you have to do as a group. And actually, watching them today in open training,
you obviously follow my
career
no
offence, Jason, but
Jay, you'll know better than most, Jay, about an embarrassing defeat. Yeah, you would.
That was out of order. Liberty.
It's interesting you mentioned Grant Hanley earlier on, because earlier in the week you had a little chat with him a couple of days ago. We can hear a bit of that press conference now. Let's have a listen.
The chants, Scotland get battered everywhere they go, all that kind of stuff that we've been hearing from the England fans. I don't know if you've heard this at all, but How important is it for the squad to silence those people?
No, I think it's it's important. We've got a really close knit group in camp, and I think that's really the only opinions we've got to take forward, and really look at, and that'll be our mindset.
I have to say, I thought it was a great question,
No,
all
well
jokes
done.
aside.
No,
No, genuinely.
yeah.
I thought it takes balls to ask a question that everyone else is thinking that no one asked. So, firstly, well done for asking that. How did it go down? Did anyone have a problem with you asking that or not?
Not very well. Yeah, I won't do that again, to be honest. I actually thought it was lucky that I get into open training today, because when you're in that atmosphere and it's all Scotland reporters, there's a couple of German reporters in there. I've known some of these press officers for years, like years and years and years, so they were shocked that a Scots person would even bring that language. Scotland get battered everywhere they go, into a press conference where there's a player sitting there probably going, okay, that was like sticking the knife in and giving it a twist, and you're meant to be one of us. And actually, when Grant came out later on, I did say, oh, sorry, your faces were a little bit taken aback there in my head. That sounded okay to ask that question. And they went, we just weren't expecting you to say it. Had I said something like, the chants that the English are singing about is, would you like to prove them wrong, might have been different. But hey ho, we live and learn, and toughen up, Grant. Sorry.
I thought it was a great question.
No, you got to ask the tough questions, Shebahn.
Well done. Don't go changing. Listen, I know you're out there till Scotland get knocked out of the competition. Their last group game's the 23rd, so we'll see you on the 24th of June.
Oh, come on.
Hey, every time, Andy. Need to get you some new patter.
No, we don't. The old ones still work. You having a good time? Before we let you go, you enjoyed it? You having a good time?
It's been the best time ever. Like I say, getting to follow Scotland, seeing the Tartan Army just having a great time. Tomorrow against Switzerland, I'm hoping they bring the same energy. Like I say, the weather's not great, but if you look behind me and you're watching on YouTube, there's a couple of the Swiss guys behind me just now. So, there you go, guys. I hope we beat you. 3 points tomorrow, that'll be nice. Get the round done. It's going to be a good time, hopefully, here tomorrow. And if we get 3 points, excellent. If we get a point, we know that we can still do it against Hungary, so we'll wait and see.
We will indeed. Shebahn, don't go changing.
Shebahn.
Keep up the great work for talkSPORT. Well done.
Thank you, guys. Speak soon.
We will indeed. There you go, the wonderful Shebahn Aherne. You are right. She's doing a fantastic job out there. She's great to listen to.
Yeah, I messaged her in the week, actually. Some of the reports she's done, you can tell she's absolutely loving it out there, and it comes across. So she's been brilliant.
Shame it all ends on the 24th.
Oh, come on.
You're listening to the Euro Game Day live on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein, Jason Cundy, presented by Burger King. Bring home the ultimate food satisfaction. Get your favourites delivered.
Was ist das? talkSPORT?